Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and this is Sonali from It Starts at Home. And today I'm going to share with you some really hands-on scissor skill activities. Vivan is very fond of using the scissors, so he requested me to gather some activities or like do some hands-on activities. So that's what I have for you guys today, and let's get going. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm using a lot of my old toys or like old Montessori stuff that we have, and I'm going to upcycle them. So what we have here is I have my tracing board that we used to use earlier, and what Vivan has to do with the help of one of these colored pens, he needs to trace them, and after the tracing, the design is gonna come on the paper. Then with the help of his scissors, he needs to cut in the same pattern. So you have pattern number 1, you have pattern number 2, you have pattern number 3, pattern number 4, and pattern number 5. And it's a great way because at the same time they are using the pen, they are still tracing, and they will be learning to do it around the line. And they can do for this one especially, he can do the double one. He can first do the top and then he can do the bottom, and then it's gonna be super great because I can tell him to color in between and then he can cut it off. So I think it's a great activity, and it's a great way to like upcycle your stuff, your tracing boards. Once like the kids start writing, you need to do something to reuse your toys before you give it out for charity. Okay, so that was number 1. Number 2 is I have my scale which I use for all my activities. So what Vivan has to do, he needs to make all these circles. Okay, why does it look colorful? Okay, sorry guys. Okay, so he needs to make all these circles, different ones. First he needs to make them, and then he needs to cut all the different sizes. So I'm gonna go with the large, then the medium, then small, then extra small. So like extra small can be from anywhere here. So he needs to like circle like 4 of them or 5 of them. So like 4 of large, 4 of medium, 4 of small, and 4 of like extra small, and then he needs to cut it across. So it's a simple activity. All you have to do is you have to grab any of your stencils if you have, or if you have any kinds of uh, like any kinds of embellishments which are like circle, like I have like this. So he can like put it here and make a circle, but I have the scale and I think it's a perfect fit to be used on a white paper and for a pair of scissors, and he can cut it off. The third activity is to cut and create, and that's here. So I have used my translucent shapes that I have right here. Okay, where's the blue one? Okay, and what Vivan has to do, he needs to cut them, and then the pieces that will come out will make a beautiful house. I'm going to show you how. It's going to come like this. Okay, I have to use one more rectangle. I think I don't have it right now. I'm just going to use this in the meanwhile. Okay, and then the circle can come here, and the two more so the other rectangle is going to come here, and these 2 squares will come like as a window or like just as a door. So I think it's a great way to even learn. So it's a great cutting activity. You can like make different shapes that you want, but I just thought to make it like simple, and he can like tour around and see how those pieces will fit into a house. So I think it's a great activity too. The next one that I have is I have the color code game where we have different shapes, and I have used those shapes. As you can see, it's right here. I'm going to give Ivan a blank piece of paper, and what he needs to do, he needs to trace it. Trace as in he needs to copy the design. So he needs to make a design the way he wants. It's a small or a big one, and once he makes it, then he needs to use the scissor and cut it exactly. So I have used the second one is here. The third one is this design. It can be like this, or it can be like this, the way he wants. So it can be like this. And the fourth one is here. So all 4 of them on a white sheet, he needs to first try and copy them, and then he needs to try and cut it. So I am just upcycling my existing toys that I already have, and I think it's pretty good when the kids see that they are upcycling your toys. I think it's a great deal. It's a great value of doing things. Okay, so my next activity is what I've done. I have these baby puzzles which we used to have, and I have created a puzzle out of it. And what Vivan has to do, he needs to cut. So these are the pieces. I'm gonna show it to you. Just give me 1 second. I think that's how it's supposed to be. Yeah, this fits in right here. This I think fits here, and then I have the tail that fits right here. So I have just used as an outline, and I think it's a great scissor skill activity, especially for a kindergartner who's going to be soon a kindergartner. I think it's a little intense, but you can always do like the smaller shapes or simple ones for your children to make it simple yet attractive. And once they cut the pieces, you can ask them to combine this and that together, and then they can always color it. I mean, what they do next is completely like up to their choice. And then I've made some hands-on activities on paper that Vivan would really enjoy, and I'm gonna show you the ones that I've made. So what Vivan needs to do, he needs to read the numbers, and then he needs to find the answer here. He needs to cut. So like if that is 13, he needs to find 13. He needs to cut 13 from here, and he needs to put it right here. So same goes for the other numbers that are there. Like for 21, 35, 50, 11, and 19, he needs to cut and put it here. My next activity is also a simple paper-based activity with my stickers. So what I've done, we are just starting up doing subtraction. So I just thought that let me do a subtraction activity here. So we have the food here and the answer here. So he needs to like -2 -2 is 0. So your 0 is here. He needs to cut 0 and he needs to paste it here. So this is basically you're solving the answer, you're cutting, and you're pasting at the same time. There are 3 steps, but if you want to make it simple, you can like just do like the addition or like just simple counting activity. That can also be pretty perfect. My next activity is the pizza activity that says slices of the garden pizza. So I have just made a pie which looks extremely disgusting because of my drawing, and I think the way I've made the circle, the pizza pieces are not of the same size, but it's okay. I think the kids can still manage. So it's a garden themed pizza with all these different stickers, and what Vivan has to do, he needs to cut the circle, and then he needs to cut each slice. So each slice he needs to cut, and there should be 1 2 3 4 5 6 sorry 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So he needs to cut these 8 different slices to give it to 8 different people. And my last activity is like a free cutting time for our Montessori, and that is going to be on my Montessori tray, which like, and that's like our favorite tray. I think we have been like with this tray like forever now. And I have just used my simple paper, and what I've done, I've made different lines and combinations of things. So these are different strips that Vivan has to cut. He needs to start cutting on the blue line. So wherever is the blue line, Vivan has to use the scissor according to that. So these are all slanting lines. These are just fringes on the corner. That's a different abstract. Then these are all semicircles. These are the long triangles, like all zigzag lines. Then that's a pattern that he has to cut out of here, and that's a bumpy road, and that is going to make just a simple design on the paper, and he needs to like cut the curve, and once he opens, he's going to see the design that he's created. So I think these are great hands-on activities that you can create for your children, and especially for scissor skills, I think kids really enjoy. And you can always customize it according to your child's interest and the way they like it. So guys, if you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed my channel, please do subscribe. And thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.